Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so as you know, the Los Angeles Lakers are back tonight, 7 p.m. Finally, after a nice long All-Star break. We had a lot go on with the team, but ultimately, it brings us all back to this one spot. Of course, what was once known as Staples Center, now known as Crypto.com Arena. I'll call it the Crow. Got a showdown with the Clippers tonight. It'll be our home floor, and we got a couple players out that you would expect to see out. Of course, in Anthony Davis and Kendrick Nunn, but you also have Melo and Avery Bradley, who are day to day for the Lakers. Of course, Powell is out for the Clippers, as well as a few other guys that are not in my mind at the moment. But I did write down a few things other than that that should help me remember more so about the opponent tonight. At the end of the day, um, we're looking at a situation where the Lakers have a real decision to make, and that is who plays and who doesn't. How much do you believe in this team, and how much are you ready to move on from it? And if you're ready to move on from it, what decisions will you make to make the roster make sense when you make that decision? And so, for me, it's just going to be very curious to see who's on this roster going forward. A couple guys probably playing their last game here, or last couple of games, I should say, because it's up to the Lakers right now to see the fruit in bringing in young talent and letting some of these older guys go and find winning situations that they thought they would find here. So um, I don't know if that's what the Lakers' thinking is. A lot of what they've been doing has been incorrect in my mind and just kind of, not helping themselves. So I would not be surprised at all if they just continue to run vets out there, but it wouldn't be to their best interest. And I, as a fan, would like them to come to that conclusion a bit sooner than it seems they have, with other things that they should have done already. But this is most important right now is transitioning from this veteran let's win now situation to a we are now trying to rebuild situation, and that's how I have it in my mind. Bron is pretty much checked out, and so we'll watch these games. We'll enjoy him while he plays. If he can do the impossible and drag this team to the playoffs, we'll be rooting him along. And that journey starts tonight. But as far as myself and my predictions, I don't expect anything out of this team until they make changes that'll help themselves on the basketball floor. That's really what it comes down to. So that is my point of view. And tonight, going up against a team that doesn't have that issue, but they are missing some stars. So because of it, they're going to be also without their best on the floor. But that doesn't mean that you can go in there and expect to beat them. Obviously, the Clippers are a good enough team to beat us, a team who's been struggling, and especially given the fact that they have the coaching that we should probably have in place right now, in a guy by the name of Ty Lue, who I think is one of the best in the game, if not the best in the game right now, and is going to find a way to make something out of nothing and has done so all year long, with this Clipper team who's got some good names, but doesn't have that star, as I said, with Kawhi and PG both out with injury. But you will have to deal with Nicholas Batum, Boston, Amir Coffey, Robert Covington, Isaiah Hartenstein, Reggie Jackson, Terrence Mann, Luke Kennard, Marcus Morris, Semi Ujle, who they just picked up. I don't think if I've said his name correctly or not. Ivica Zubats is a guy, of course, that we know very well. And Rodney Hood, somebody who we've seen in situations as well. So they have a good list of guys that can all play their role, who gonna play hard, who don't necessarily expect to overpower teams, but do with good fundamentals and good adjustments from quarter to quarter. Um, Give themselves opportunities to win games that they otherwise should not win. They've had some fantastic comebacks this year, and you just don't want to take this group lightly at all. They've beat us already once, if I'm not mistaken, or twice. We've seen them. I know they've beat us previously about 3 weeks ago. So, we have a lot to deal with in regards to this team, but we also have LeBron James, who I'd imagine is going to appreciate being on the basketball floor tonight, as he always does, but even more so than normal, because I think he's finally coming to a conclusion of what it is that he has. It's the end of the LA dream. Um, I think it's over. I don't expect him to come back next season. I really don't. And if he does come back next season, I think the idea will be to move on, probably sooner than later, so he can get back to winning ways. And I just think that there's a decent chance that we'll probably shut him down this season, which means this would be one of the last games that he play at full strength until that process starts. Now, I don't know that a decision like that has been made or discussed. I know he wouldn't necessarily agree to it, but I don't think he has a choice given the fact that he's under contract, and I don't think it's in the Lakers' best interest to continue playing him. So if I'm putting those two things together, I'd imagine that he's has to see it in the back of his mind as something that the Lakers could do. You know what I mean? Shut him down. And if he's thinking that, then he's going to appreciate tonight's game. He's going to play his heart out, as he always does. But with a special emphasis given that it was the All-Star game that he's coming off of, and as I said, this newfound reality as I'd imagine it be. So it's all about him. Obviously, AD without AD out there, we were looking for him to carry this roster however far it's going to go for as long as he's going to play. And given the fact that he's been able to do so thus far, there's no reason to think that he's not going to continue to. Now, we have asked him to play center a lot this season, and because of it, I do believe that it has worn him down. And I don't like that role for him going forward, but I got a feeling it's going to be the one he plays. I hope that the Lakers see the fruit in shutting him down before he gets injured again, because that is the type of thing that happens when you play a guy center at this stage in his career. Shouldn't be playing that position to begin with. It's not a good idea. So, not to be super pessimistic or any more so than I already am, I just understand what we're asking him to do, and I understand what he represents in terms of 1/3 of what it is our entire asset cap is. So we need to be honest about that, and not overdo it with LeBron James over these next several weeks, for which I expect him to do anyway. So keep an eye out for LeBron James and his health. That's going to be important. So as far as tonight's game, once again, at the end of the day, the Clippers are going to play hard. I expect them to win. I do. I don't expect the Lakers are going to do anything to make themselves bigger out there, which is going to leave them at a disadvantage on the boards, as we always say. Of course, coach is going to make certain decisions. With Avery Bradley being day-to-day, if he goes tonight, I'd imagine he's going to get his 20-plus minutes like he always does. These are the things that we just hope that the coach will not do, but expect to see done anyway. For me, I'm hopeful that we can focus on THT and bring his value up so that we can feel better about that contract. That's going to be most important, his development. Obviously, Malik Monk is going to be playing for money. He's going to be playing for a contract coming up. So whether he ends up signing with us or someone else, I'd imagine he's going to want high usage. Austin Reeves is somebody that you want to see developed as well. Continue giving him opportunities. And, we'll just see how this team has carried over from the All-Star break. We'll see if there's any progress in how the team plays tonight. Obviously you're coming off a long break, but at the same time, you'd expect they've had some rest and or practice time, and that is ultimately what I'm hopeful for, to just see practice time more so instilled in the second half of the season than it was able to be in the first. So if we see that, I'd imagine we'll see players get better, and as players get better, it'll result in better possessions, and that's just all you can ask for when you're not a very good team. Good possessions lead to wins, so you just want good possessions, and that's what I'm looking for, good possessions from this Laker team. I felt really good about Austin Reeves before the season took a break, the All-Star break. He looked really good in that previous game, and in these previous several games we've seen young players play better. That is all I'm asking for. With the removal of Avery Bradley from the lineup, we got a chance to really see those guards. That is what I want. They're going to be going up against some tough guys tonight. Terrence Mann, as I said, Amir Coffey, the other guys on that list. You just want to make sure that they get their exposure tonight. Brandon Boston, I'd expect that the guy you want to pay attention to for this team would be Reggie Jackson. That's the dude. He's been going off lately. He's having a hell of a season, and you just expect for that to continue tonight. Um, you know, that's definitely somebody I'm paying attention to. And Terrence Mann. Terrence Mann is somebody who's going to be given a lot of minutes tonight, um, who had started playing a little bit better right before the All-Star break. With injuries and things of that nature that have happened to this roster, he's had a bigger role, and I'd expect he's going to have a good second half of the season. He's kind of had a fall off, you know. He started having real ideas about what he could be last year in the playoffs, and he just has not kind of taken on that role without their stars. So kind of disappointing, but the upside is still there. And also, if Marcus Morris is available, yeah, he's a spirited guy. He's going to want to shoot us down. A lot of things have been said between him and our team and stuff like that. So, yeah, if he's out there, he's going to give us problems. Isaiah Hartenstein. You guys know that's one of my favorite young players. He just so happens to be a Clipper. And, depending on Zubac's health, I'd imagine he's healthy again. I didn't see him on the injury report. We'll see him get half of the minutes at center. That is a very good thing. You definitely want to continue to raise his value if you're the Clippers, because that dude can really play. He can really play. So, yeah, man, that's what you see. The Clippers have a good crop of young players, vets who are playing for something, and ultimately fantastic coaching. So, if we don't bring it tonight, it's going to be hell to pay, and that's just what it is. We can sing rah-rah about the Clippers and how we hate them and all this and that, but we're such a wounded animal right now that I don't really come at these games with that type of energy. I just don't. I don't feel like the mighty Lakers right now. I feel like a team who's desperately trying to grasp for something to show for what it is that we're going through, other than the championship that it was captured 2 years ago. And so that's what we're hopeful to see. Let's just get through the season. Let's just get through the rest of the season, see how far we can take it. That's what it's about. So that's what I'm going to say, man. Can't wait for the game. It's been a long time with these Lakers being off. I kind of forgotten how much they let me down most of the time, so it was good to kind of be away from them. But ultimately, I'm hopeful that they'll give us something to root for in the second half of the season, starting tonight against the hated Clippers. So that's what I got, man. BDF 44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.